I should never have gone back. For years I tried to forget that night, but something kept pulling me back. A recurring dream, an unsettling feeling, a voice whispering in the dark. The abandoned hospital was just a buried memory until it started haunting me again. It was a massive building, lost among twisted trees and restless shadows. Once a psychiatric hospital shut down decades ago, people said horrific experiments had been conducted there, that doctors had gone insane, that patients had vanished. I knew it was all exaggerated, or at least I thought I did, but now, after all these years, I had returned. The night was thick, suffocating. The air smelled of damp decay, and the overgrown vegetation seemed eager to swallow the entire structure. The wind whistled through broken windows, whispering ancient secrets. With a flashlight in hand, I stepped through the rusted gates. They groaned as if protesting my presence. The lobby was dark, but the moon cast distorted shadows across stained walls. The silence was nearly absolute. Nearly. I heard footsteps. Not mine. I swallowed hard. It could have been just an animal or the echo of my own movements, but there was something odd about the way the sound reverberated, as if the hospital itself was breathing. I followed the main corridor. The floor creaked under my weight, and the beam of my flashlight trembled as I tried to steady my sweaty hands. The doors to the rooms were slightly open, some boarded shut. Others looked as if they had been forced open. It seemed someone had been there before me, and perhaps they still were. I reached a ward where the rooms were smaller, the beds with rusted bars. The paint peeled from the walls, revealing layers of mold and darkness. At the end of the hallway, there was a different door, closed, intact. Something about it called to me. With each step, the air grew heavier. My heart pounded against my ribs like a hammer. When I reached out for the handle, a cold shiver ran down my spine. And then, someone laughed, low, hissing, behind me. I turned abruptly, my flashlight shaking. The corridor was empty, but I swear on everything that the laughter still echoed inside me. When I looked back at the door, it was open. Someone, or something, had been waiting. And now, there was no turning back. The door was slightly open. The darkness beyond it felt alive, pulsing. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to run, but my feet were rooted to the floor, as if something unseen held my ankles. I took a deep breath. The hospital was already playing tricks on my mind. Raising my flashlight, I aimed it inside. The room was different from the others. Smaller, windowless, the walls padded, at least what was left of them. A tattered mattress lay in the corner, its stuffing exposed like torn flesh. But the worst part was the writing on the walls. Words, scrawled in something dark and dried.
They are here, awake, always awake. Do not listen.
A chill crawled down my spine. My mouth went dry, then the silence broke. A faint sound like a whisper scraping through the air. At first, I couldn't understand it. Then it repeated.
You came back.
The voice was weak, like wind passing through tight cracks, but unmistakable. I swallowed hard. My flashlight trembled in my sweaty grip. Who's there? My voice sounded ridiculous in that place. Nothing. Only the suffocating silence of the hospital. I took a step back. That's when something ran past behind me. I spun around, my heart hammering against my ribs. The hallway was empty, but I knew something had been there. Then I heard it, breathing, not mine. At the far end of the corridor where the darkness was thickest, I saw it, a figure, small, hunched on the floor. My lungs seized. My instincts screamed at me to run, but my body wouldn't obey. The flashlight beam landed on it. A child. No, not a child. The face was wrong, the eyes were too large, the body twisted at an impossible angle, and when it smiled, the teeth were long. The skin stretched, almost translucent.
You came back.
The same whispering voice. The smile widened, my flashlight flickered, and then it started crawling toward me. I ran, bolted down the corridor, stumbling over debris, my breath coming in panicked gasps. Behind me, I could hear the thing's hands scraping against the floor, pursuing me. Don't look back, don't look back. I turned a corner and slammed into a door. Tried the handle, locked. Behind me the sound stopped, the silence returned. But I knew it was still there, waiting. The silence was worse than the sound of that thing crawling behind me. I pressed my back against the locked door, my breath ragged and uneven. My heartbeat pounded in my ears, a frantic drumbeat against the oppressive quiet. My flashlight flickered. I swallowed hard, then I heard it, a whisper, low, distant, almost inside my own head.
Do you remember?
My entire body tensed. The voice didn't come from the hallway, it came from inside me. The flashlight trembled in my grip. I lifted it and shone the beam down the corridor. Empty. But I wasn't alone. The hospital itself felt like it was watching me, its walls brimming with unseen eyes waiting for me to break. Then I noticed something. The corridor ahead was different. It wasn't the same one I had just run through. The walls were less decayed, the ceiling lights flickering weakly, as if still clinging to a dying power source. And then I saw the door. At the end of the hallway, it looked newer than the others, untouched by time. A rusted metal plaque was bolted onto it. Therapy room, patient 132. A cold shiver rippled through me. That name, it felt familiar, but why? I stepped closer. The silence thickened, absorbing the sound of my footsteps. The air grew colder, and something deep inside me begged not to open that door. But I did. The latch clicked open. Inside, the room was almost untouched. A table in the center, a chair facing the wall, a single, swaying light bulb hanging from the ceiling, casting warped shadows along the floor. And there was a mirror, a massive one covering nearly the entire opposite wall. It wasn't a normal mirror. The flashlight beam reflected off it, but something was wrong. My reflection was there, but slightly off. A delay, a hesitation. My stomach churned. Then my reflection smiled. But I didn't. I stepped back. It stood there, staring at me, head tilted slightly. And then it spoke.
Do you remember now?
My flashlight flickered. For a split second, the room was swallowed in darkness, and when the light returned, my reflection was gone. But I wasn't alone. Behind me, in the room, someone was standing. Warm breath tickled the back of my neck, and an ice-cold hand rested on my shoulder. I couldn't move. The hand on my shoulder was freezing, its fingers pressing gently against my skin. The breath behind me was uneven, shallow, but impossible to ignore. My flashlight flickered. Every part of me screamed to run, but I knew it wouldn't help. Whatever was behind me didn't want me to leave.
Do you remember now?
The whisper was right against my ear, and my blood turned to ice. I didn't want to look, I didn't want to see. But when my eyes drifted back to the mirror, I saw it. My reflection had returned, but it wasn't me. The skin was pale, the eyes sunken, the mouth slightly open in a sick, unnatural grin. Behind him in the mirror, the room was different, darker, dirtier. Bloody handprints smeared the padded walls. And then it moved. It raised a hand and placed it on its own shoulder, exactly where I felt the icy grip on mine. The reflection was the thing standing behind me. The air thickened, my legs buckled, and then it laughed, soft, hissing. The same laugh from that night. Something cracked open inside my mind. A memory, sharp and sudden. I had been here before. The same room, the same mirror, the same thing behind me. But before, I hadn't made it out. The hospital wasn't haunting me, it was calling me back. The reflection lifted its hand.
This time, don't run.
The light bulb above me shattered. Darkness swallowed everything. And then I felt hands pulling me into the mirror. I screamed, I fought, but my body wasn't mine anymore. The last thing I saw was my own reflection, standing there, watching me, smiling. And then everything went black. I never left that hospital, but someone did. And if you're reading this, he might be right behind you.